What's up? Nick Hilton here with Mountain Bike Action, and in this video, we are talking about the Ibis Ripley V5. This is Ibis's 5th iteration of the Ripley. Over the years, the geometry has gotten more slack, the travel has increased, and this new version truly is a trail conquering machine. So the Ripley comes in 5 sizes, including small, medium, large, extra large, but they've also created a new size, the extra medium, because they noticed that like 80% of their riders fell between 5'5" and 6 foot. And so they created a new size to bridge that gap between medium and large. Now, each frame size comes with a 64.9 degree head tube angle, but otherwise, for the most part, there's entirely size-specific geometry. Ibis went in and designed each individual frame size so that way there would be a consistent riding experience across all of the sizes. And if you're wondering, I'm 5'9" and I am riding the medium. I could have technically probably fit on the extra medium, but I feel like overall I'm a pretty small guy and I like the little bit of a tighter feel that the medium offers compared to the extra medium. The V5 iteration of the Ripley keeps the DW Link suspension design, but the travel in the rear has grown from 120 millimeters to 130 millimeters of travel. The new frame has lost the swoop that Ibis is used to have. It's a much straighter and sleeker design, which I really like the look of. And of course, it's got the new flip chip, which is for riding a mixed wheel setup. The bike ships with 29-inch wheels, but if you want to throw a 27.5 on the back, you can flip the switch from 29 to 27.5, and that will allow you to run a mixed wheel setup without compromising the geometry. Now, I will tell you that you have to remove the shock to access the inner bolts on the flip chip, so it's not something you want to be like swapping back and forth wheels all day. So just keep that in mind. This frame also has an internal storage compartment underneath the water bottle cage. They've called it stow, snacks, tools, or whatever. Ibis offers 5 different builds of the Ripley, starting with a Shimano Dior build and going up to a SRAM Exo Eagle transmission build. The build that I'm riding right now falls right in the middle. It's a Shimano XT build, and it's the highest build before you get into wireless transmission. Now, I love wireless transmission, it works great, but there's something so nice about just having a solid, reliable, durable, wired shifter, and you don't have to worry about any batteries. This Ripley build is equipped with a Fox 34 factory fork in the front with 140 millimeters of travel. It's got the Grip X damper, and in the rear, we've got the Fox Float factory shock. It works together with the DW linkage on this frame to create 130 millimeters of travel in the rear. Ibis also uses a bunch of their own components on this build. For example, we've got the Blackbird Hi-Fi bars, we've got a Blackbird stem, and we've got the Blackbird Send wheels. I've put these wheels through the ringer, especially when I was riding some super rocky terrain out in Utah, and I've been very impressed with their strength, so good job, Ibis, on that. Wrapping these wheels, we've got some Maxxis tires, we've got a Recon in the back, and we've got a DHR2 in the front. Both incredible trail tires. Haven't had any issues with them. To finish it off, we've got WTB Silverado saddle on top of a Bike Yoke Revive dropper post. The one on this medium frame has 160 millimeters of travel. The amount of travel does change depending on what size bike you get. And then we've got some Lizard Skins grips, and I don't ride in gloves a lot, and I actually really do like these grips. I'm a little picky when it comes to grips, but these ones I do quite like. I've never tried them before this, and they're pretty good. All right, enough tech. How does this thing ride?
Yes, sir.
Climbing on this bike is super efficient. You get a lot of output when you're putting down power to the pedals, and it's so nimble and maneuverable that it really makes those more rocky and technical climbs relatively easy. Descending on this bike is way too much fun. I think it is more capable than the trail category implies. It's only got 140 mil in the front and 130 in the back, so of course there are limitations, but I took this thing off of a bunch of different rock drops, rocky sections. I even rode it down some steep natural terrain chutes, and between the brakes and the tires and just the overall feel of the bike, it handled everything. And honestly, it was just so much fun. All right, overall, I think the Ibis Ripley V5 is one of those bikes that it makes you want to stay out on the trail. It climbs so well that you're like, you know what, let's just climb a little more. Let's just go again. Let's take another run at the loop. And it descends in a way that 99% of the time you're not gonna find terrain that you can't ride this bike on. And I think it's just so much fun, and it's definitely a bike that's worth looking into. It's got, you know, an almost $6,500 price point for this build. So it's not the cheapest thing, but it's a bike that is definitely on my list for fun, value, and overall makes me want to go out and ride a bike. All right, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.